enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know what set me if it could flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight. Me I fi take away myself. I fi take away myself. I have to utilize I weeds. Surely I leave where I ease. I said, yeah, I find you very hard to resist. But this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch. May I feel take away myself. May I feel take away myself.
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. I am Franco. Today, our special guest is none other than Miss Joan Andrea Hutchinson, and she will be doing our chat session. I got Flavius and Max Bennett this morning as well. Top of the morning, folks. Top of the morning.
Grand Rising.
Good day, good day, good day.
All right, all right. How is everything going in?
Good morning, everything, everybody.
So what's going on in your neck of the woods? Come, what's happening in your neck of the woods? It's still raining?
Rain, non-stop rain.
No one drowned yet, no one drowned yet, no one washed away, no house mudslide, nothing like that though.
I haven't heard that.
Good. That sounds good. What's happening in your neck of the woods, Max Bennett?
Sun is shining, birds are singing. Beautiful and a little cool in Kissimmee, but all is well.
That's good. Sweet,
nice.
Sweet kissing me.
Yeah.
Sun is shining. The birds are singing.
Yeah, but the weather is sweet.
Well, on my side, it's bleaky. You know, Miami, kind of bleaky on the south side of Miami, bleaky. But we know Miami weather is unpredictable. You understand me?
Yeah.
Because pretty soon it might be sunny, then it might get rainy. You never know. But
Yep.
we have to move, we have to move. Things going on. People are moving all over. News, good and news bad. But whatever it is, we know Flavius have some good news for us this morning when it comes to Did You Know? So we're going to go into the Did You Know in a few minutes. So let's bring in Flavius' song and then we go straight into the Did You Know.
All right.
Walking on sand and holding your hand, feel like a tourist in my own homeland, in my own homeland, enjoying the bright, the warm sunlight. Oh my God, what a beautiful sight in my own homeland. This place is so nice, wanna do everything twice. Yes, I feel as if I'm in a paradise. No matter the season, you've got every reason.
Each and every morning at this time, Flavius give us the famous Did You Know? Take it away, sir.
Yep.
Can't hear you.
Yes. We're going to look at some of the as Easter closes. We're going to do this for the food that the people have been eating all around the Caribbean. Did you know that people in the Caribbean eat special foods during Easter? As the Easter season ends, let us look at what Caribbean people ate during this time. Matoto crab in Guadeloupe and Martinique. For those of you who have visited Guadeloupe or Martinique at least once, this will hardly come as a surprise. They really do love their crab. In fact, preparation for the traditional Easter dish called matuto or matete begin at least 1 month in advance during the crab hunting season that starts on February the 15th each year. Easter buns in Jamaica. These tasty buns are probably the most famous Caribbean Easter culinary tradition. Even though they are enjoyed universally across the region, with several countries having a tradition of making them during the Lent or during Holy Week. It is Jamaica who is most usually credited with popularizing the dish. Made with a variety of spices including cinnamon, ground allspice, cardamom, and cloves, and filled with raisin and fruits. Codfish cake, Bermuda. Bermuda is one of the best places to be on Good Friday to witness some truly spectacular Easter celebration. On this day, locals head down to Horseshoe Bay to take part in various kite flying competitions and taste the traditional treats served at food stalls and restaurants. Along with hot cross buns, the most popular snack among the locals are codfish cakes that are made with what some call Caribbean's trademark ingredient, salt fish. Accra fish and pennipiece, St. Lucia. Even though St. Lucia is not particularly famous for its Easter celebrations, there are some traditions that still hold strong on the beautiful island. The most popular among them is having accra fish and pennipiece on Good Friday and Easter Sunday. Accra is a type of saltfish fritters, seasoned with salt, pepper, and garlic, and coated in a mix of flour, onion, chili pepper, and cilantro. Since indulging in sweet is generally avoided during Easter, a dish of accra is usually followed by some pennipiece instead of dessert, a thin, round, wafer-like biscuit that is coated in ginger and especially beloved by kids. Escovitch fish, Jamaica. This might be one found in Jamaica all year round, but it's one of the most exquisite choices for a traditional Easter meal. This Jamaican variation of ceviche is made with fillets of either snapper or kingfish, marinated with salt, black pepper, and ground pimento. After the fish is fried, it is served in a white vinegar-based dressing with carrots, onions, and hot peppers that give it its distinct spicy flavor. In most cases, it's accompanied by the traditional cassava bread called bami or some Johnny cakes, popular deep-fried dumplings. Fried flying fish, Barbados. Fishing has a very long tradition in Barbados, and there are some who would argue that their seafood quality is second to none. Their national dish, flying fish with cuckoo, is loved equally by locals and visitors and has become one of the most sought after delicacies among tourists in the Caribbean. Come Easter time, the famous dish is served with a twist, as it is enhanced by Bajan seasoning and lime, coated in breadcrumbs and fried in canola oil. The best place to savor this treat is the 3-day fish festival that takes place during Easter weekend on the south coast in a small town of Oistins. Sweet beans, Dominican Republic. A sweet bean cream dessert may sound odd to those who haven't tried it, but there is a good reason why this dish is prepared in extraordinary large quantities at every Easter family dinner in the Domrep. Everybody loves it. The main ingredients of the dish is a mash of red beans that are boiled with coconut milk. The mix is then enriched by Caribbean sweet potatoes, raisins, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, sugar, and butter to create a pinkish cream. It's served hot or cold in small bowls, complete with chunks of chocolate or cookies on top. And that's our Did You Know for today.
Paradise, no matter the season, you got every reason. This place is another little heaven. East or west, I couldn't care less.
Did You Know is brought to you courtesy of Slowly Jamaica, uniquely Caribbean. So in case you didn't know, now you know. Stay tuned for guest Miss Joan Andrea Hutchinson coming up next. Stick and stay, don't go nowhere unless you gotta go refill your tea or your coffee this morning.
On homeland, give yourself a treat, a few days or a week, and you will see just what I mean. Just take my advice, everyone is nice. You feel like royalty, my friend.
Yes, my listeners. Let me tell you about our guest this morning. Joan Andrea Hutchinson is your consummate communicator. She is a PR and a communications specialist, public speaking coach, communications lecturer, and a writer-performer with years of experience as a TV and radio news anchor, program host, and news editor. She also teaches Jamaican Patois to non-native speakers. Her work in the preservation of Jamaican culture is well known, and she has been given the status of language ambassador by the City College of Birmingham in the UK, and has received several awards for culture, including the Order of Distinction from the Government of Jamaica. She is the self-published author of 3 books and producer of 7 CDs on Jamaican culture, an avid scholar and personal friend of the late Dr. Honourable Louise Bennett Coverley. Miss Lou, she conceptualized and produced her final major recording, the CD Lad the Riddim Sweet. Miss Hutchinson is a graduate of the University of West Indies and studied in several countries including Holland, Tunisia, Mexico, Panama, Benin, Spain, and the US. Her greatest joy, motherhood. Her greatest blessing, God's love. Real Stuff Podcast. Help me this morning welcome the one and only Miss Joan Andrea Hutchinson. Top of the morning, Miss Hutchinson.
Morning, what a go on?
Everything good. I got Flavius and Max Wanette, my co-host, with me as well.
Grand Rising.
Good?
Grand Rising, Joan. How are you?
Good and hearty and wonderful, man. Sun a shine out a door and Jamaica sweet.
Beautiful.
A friend just called me and tell me that if Franco Jamaica nice, if I come to Jamaica, I say, yeah, it's nice, but it's bitter sometimes. Anyway, we're going to get right into it because we know you have a busy schedule this morning, hectic day ahead of you. So let's go into some talk. Flavius, you want to take it off this morning? I give you the first. Go ahead.
Morning, Joan.
Morning, how you do?
I'm good. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes. So are you going to start us off? You're going to tell us a little about you? And, you know.
Tell me what you want.
Anything
you want to know, you ask me.
No, man, you just, you know, we just want you.
I am curious.
Firstly, yeah.
Just
start out by telling us who we are.
Yeah, who am I? Okay, I'm a Jamaican woman. I am, my mother used to tell me all the time that I mustn't walk up and down and tell people my age. I'm 57 and I'm very proud to be 57. I don't feel like 57 and I don't think I look 57, but I'm absolutely wonderfully happy. Born in Kingston, I am a little envious of anybody in Jamaica who born and grew a country. And so based on my writing, most people think I'm a country girl. Sometimes you overhear people say, yeah, man, she used to go to school with my sister, St. Elizabeth. No, she used to go to school with my auntie, so and so. And they call all kind of parishes. I'm a born and grew Kingstonian, you understand? But I love country people. My parents were two very proud country people. And a lot of my writing, the way I write, the way I describe aspects of Jamaican culture, have a lot of Jamaican country in it because we think we just grudge country people, you know? So I use my writing. People think of me sometimes as a comedian, but I think it's a lot more than that. It's just that I happen to use the vehicle of comedy and wit to sometimes tell some of the stories, you know. But just like a journalist will document society, I feel that my work, like Miss Lou's work, if you take it up at a particular point in time, you'll get a sense of what was happening in the society at the time. So, I mean, when Merlin Ottey was winning races, I wrote about Merlin Ottey. When Usain Bolt and Shelley Ann Fraser were winning races, I wrote about them. When Hurricane Gilbert licked down Jamaica, I wrote about that. When the bobsled team won thing, when Reggae Boys got to France. So, I mean, you document the society for itself, but you use the Jamaican language, and that is what makes it exciting. I'm also very big on the preservation in terms of proverbs. So I already have 2 CDs of Jamaican proverbs and I'm working on the book now. Because you see, the thing with proverbs is proverbs have a lot of different layers. So you have a layer which is, as they say, literal meaning, and then you have several other layers, you know. So I'm very into the preservation of the Jamaican culture through proverbs and teaching. So I teach Jamaican Patois in a very formal kind of way because I studied it at the University of the West Indies. So, you know, I'm able to tell you about the past tense markers, the future tense markers, how you mark time, how you mark this, how you mark plurality. So it's not just how people think, oh, it's bad English. No. Jamaican Patois has structures just like how English has structures. And I can teach you the structures. Right now I'm teaching a guy in London and he's just like amazed because there's so much technical stuff, you know. But I love Jamaica. I live in Jamaica. I choose to live in Jamaica. I mean, bad things happen in Jamaica. Bad things happen all about, you know. I tell people all the time, the only time I've been held up, I was held up in Holland once. I was held up in New York once. I've never been held up in Jamaica. I'm living in Jamaica, you know. So bad things happen, good things happen. But Jamaicans are absolutely wonderful people. Trust me. Love my Jamaican people.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true.
right.
Because you'd be surprised with some, you know, so people living in some terrible place in Jamaica, and as them leave and go somewhere else, them get robbed or all up. So you're right.
Yeah, and, sure. And you know, sometimes we have to be careful about how the media paints things. Because I remember I lived in North Africa for a while, right? I lived in Tunisia, and I was supposed to come home on vacation. And I was so scared to come home because everything that I was reading in the newspapers, the way you read it in the international news, it sounded like there were streets of blood, rivers of blood running through the streets, the way people wrote the stuff.
Yes.
You know, and I was scared to come home. And you come home and you say, yeah, you know, I mean, stuff happens just about anywhere.
You're right about that, because I remember in 2012 when a lot of stuff was happening. In 2013, I said, man, I want to go Jamaica. And it's the song when named Sweet Jamaica. When I saw the video, man, it's like the whole of my body just a shake. Me say, me have to go a yard, because all the guys, them, you know, put the lyrics of the song and the video alone make you want to go back to Jamaica, you know. So I went and I had fun. I'm going to go straight in for that. Sorry, Max Bennett, go ahead. Your time.
Yes. Again, it's nice having you, Joan. I have a question about Bumpy Head Girl.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to ask you something about that because even though it happened a while back, but the situation is still relevant today. So I would like to know how you feel are more so, what would you say to the women? Because I noticed during that time, the women were not supportive, not even the women. You didn't have much support during that incident. But today, as a woman to woman, black woman to black woman, queen to queen, respect, how can we continue to support one another, especially during these type of things? What would you suggest?
You know, I would, before I even tell you what I suggest, I'll tell you this. I was raised by two amazing parents. My parents died 2 years ago, but they have built a legacy in me.
My condolences.
I had two parents who got up every day and told me, affirmed me every day. I am wonderful, I'm gorgeous, I'm bright, I'm intelligent, the world is my oyster, right. I can take on anything. And so I have this sense of, hey, I am wonderful. Yeah, sometimes I put on a little too much weight and I feel, oh boy, Joe, you need to get that belly back down. But you know what? Even if I put on a little weight, even whatever, I still feel good about myself. So you see, it starts with having healthy self-esteem. And that's something that we have to cultivate in our children. So the point is, people need to understand that people are going to, you hear them saying in Jamaican, people not throw stone after Fluxy Mango? People don't throw stone after Fluxy Mango. So if you're a good wonderful mango, then people are going to throw stone after you. So the point is, you have got to prepare yourself. There are going to be people who criticize you for things that you do. There are going to be people who don't agree with some of the things you do. But you've got to be so strong in your own conviction. You've got to feel so good about yourself that people's opinions, you know, it don't really matter. I always say, look, I'm not a product of people's opinions of me. I'm a product of God's opinion, my opinion of myself, you know, and that's how it has to be, you know. But I tell you this, though, a lot has changed since 1996. When I went on TV in 1996, you know, I was in Jamaica. I had a cream hairstyle or jerry curl or something. Left the country, went overseas. Couldn't find a black hairdresser in Holland at the time to do my hair. So I cut it off, had it natural, started twisting it. Went to Tunisia, went to Spain, lived in these places. And then came back home to Jamaica with my hair little twists. I remember coming to the airport and people seeing me and saying, oh, Tracy Chapman, because the hair was short and spiky. And, you know, people were like, oh, but you can't go on the road like that. You cannot go on the road with your hair twisted up. Because it wasn't in fashion. It wasn't just like wasn't in fashion. You couldn't get certain jobs with natural hair.
True.
And natural black people here. You couldn't get jobs unless you hair cream or you have on a wig. You couldn't get jobs with locks. Certain jobs you could not get if you had locks. But I think a lot has changed in the 25 years. I mean, I'm seeing lawyers, doctors, Indian chief, everybody have locks, natural hair. So a lot has changed, thank God. You know, you see young people going to school. There was a time when it was written on, I have a friend who had a child going to a high school in Kingston. It was written on the school rules. You're not allowed to wear cornrow. You're not allowed to wear that to school.
Same thing,
There's nothing that said you couldn't straighten your hair. You know, so you see, we have those problems. But you see, my approach to things, right, is there's a West African proverb that say, you know, when yam rice very hot. And that's my policy on things. So I don't tackle headlong. So even when the people called me and cuss me off, cuss the TV station, take that dirty bumpy gal off the TV, a lady called me at the radio station the next day where I was working, and she said, you know, I used to listen to you reading news on the radio, and I thought you were a pretty decent news reader, but now I've seen you on the television. You're a disgrace to Jamaican women. You're like dirt. She said, my maid came to work looking like you're get off my TV. Don't ever come back on my TV like that. No. Some of my friends were angry, and all these people saying that me angry, me which part? Not angry. Because I feel so good about myself, whether my hair is twisted or to the Nubian knots. I tell people, look, you see, if tomorrow, God forbid, I decide I want to get up and put on a wig, I've never worn a wig except in a play. But if I get up and want to put on a wig tomorrow, it's not about the physical. Because, you know, here's a mistake people make. If we get so caught up with the physical, right, we judge people. I've heard I've talked with some of my mentors, right, who the minute a woman puts on a false eyelash, or she cream her hair, or she weave, then they say things like, oh, self-hatred, and she doesn't feel good about herself, and she's lacking in self-esteem. And I say, hold on, I've never heard you say those things about Michelle Obama, who wears weaves and lashes, about Oprah, about Serena Williams, about that you only have strength for poor black women. You're going to start calling them names like lacking in self-esteem and full of self-hatred. For me, look, if a woman wants to get up and cream her hair tomorrow, so what? Because guess what? Somebody who doesn't have a clean heart can go to the salon and put in locks. And you pass them and say, yes, Empress, yes, Emperor. You think that they're so heartical and they're so powerful because they have all the locks. And the way they do it these days, you can't even tell say it's fake because they do it so well. But if we're so caught up with the physical, in the same way somebody who don't have good clean living can go and put on locks and natural hair and suddenly you praise them up and think, yes, yes, Empress, yes, yes. And somebody who have a good heart and decide, I want a change, let me straighten me here. You automatically start to cry down that person. So we have a problem with the physicality. Eh? You judge people by their character, not by what they look like.
Good. Obviously, you have surpassed that because you're not bitter about it, the way how you explain it and tell the story. But I never hear about it because I was in the States. I never get the news until maybe 2 years after 98. A friend told me about it, and asked me, do you know Joan Hutchinson? I said, no. And I said, yeah, man, the lady who read the news on the radio. I couldn't picture you because I wasn't in Jamaica at the time. However, I would like to know, leading up to you being on TV, you were always there making presentation before they asked you to read that news that night with the bumpy head?
Yeah, I still, and I'm very proud about that, I still hold the distinction in Jamaica of being the youngest ever television presenter.
Okay.
I presented news at age 18 on JVC television. Because there was a lady named Diana Wright who was supposed to read the news. And I don't know what happened, but she didn't turn up at the station in the evening. And they said to me, I had just come out of school, I was working as a production assistant. And they said to me, read the news. I said, what? They said, read the news. I didn't even have on proper clothes. I had on a t-shirt. And my friend Aston Cook, who died a couple of years ago, I remember I took off Aston Cook's shirt and he put on my t-shirt. And I took his shirt, turned it back to front so the collar was at the front. The security guard in the at JVC, I borrowed the security guard lipstick and put on. I borrowed her lotion, and I don't even know they didn't have gel. Gel probably never invented. Yeah. And I used lotion and water and slick my hair back so it looked like I had in gel. Borrowed the security guard chain, earring, lipstick, and I read the news. And it went tremendously well. Monday morning, I got flowers from the general manager, the director of news, and thereafter, I was in full rotation. But I tell you this, from I was in high school, there used to be a thing called EBS, Educational Broadcasting Systems. That was the precursor to what is called PBCG now, Public Broadcasting Commission. And when I was in high school, I used to leave school sometimes and go down to PBCJ, and we would do little educational programs in Spanish and English. So when I see now, for example, with the lockdown and schools being closed and they have all these educational programs on TV, on radio, I was doing that when I was 14 and 15 and 16. It's not anything new to me, But, I want to touch back on the whole self-esteem thing, right? Because, as I said, I genuinely feel very good. There are times when I don't feel good in the truth. There are times when I feel depressed a bit because that's human, But I tell you something, recently, right, I went to an interview. I was, in between jobs, and I went to a job interview. Somebody wanted me to be the manager for a medical complex. Okay, fine. I don't have any medical training, but then a doctor is not necessarily the best manager for a medical center. It's a different set of skills. Yes. No, look, I have my degrees. I teach public speaking. I've taught public speaking at almost all the universities in Jamaica. I have a lot of high-powered clients. I teach public speaking, I teach linguistics, everything. Now, I go to a job interview a couple of weeks ago, and the people are asking me, this is not an office where we speak patois, you see, because they've seen my work in the Jamaican language. Okay. So they know, they have my resume in front of them, they see all the things that I've done, all the things that I've, but they are now asking, we don't speak patois in this office, we don't. So when I kind of raise my eyebrow and look at them, oh, well, we know that you're the next Miss Lou. As if they expect me to come in their office and say to somebody, they must think me put on bandana and say, we go down a solar market. When I see the people coming, it's as if, I said, you're doubting my ability to understand when to use what language form. But, so when I told my friends, all my friends were so upset. And angry with these people. How could they? I said, but listen, people's opinion of me don't matter one bit.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, I don't get upset.
That's right.
You know,
People have their opinion, man. Look, everybody doesn't have to like me, and guess what? I don't have to like everybody either, and that's okay.
Simple.
last year about this time, your name came up on our podcast program because there was an incident in Jamaica with a student from Priory because of their hairstyle as well. And that's how your name came back into the news as the first newscaster with the bumpy head style. You know, funny, you know, I remember when I was a kid growing up, I used to see my mom would, you know, plait my sister here and, you know, even the kids them in the yard here like that. That's like when they were about to style it before they go to church or, you know, go anywhere. They would do the quick bumpy style, you know. And people them used to love it. I used to see them go street with it. Well, you know, in the ghetto, that's what you call it. The kids them are playing with them, and it looked good.
Of course, we used to wear it. I used to wear it. I used to have it done. My hair was not just for going out. If once your hair is being done, and usually there's more than one girl child in the yard at home, they wash your hair and they tiny bump it real quick before they tend to it.
Yeah.
I wear my hair in shiny bump right now.
And
anytime I feel like it.
Something significant that's important, you know. It is we are a country with over 90% African descendants in terms of the population. There must be something wrong in a country which produced Bob Marley, which produced Marcus Garvey, which is known for Pan-Africanism, which is known for being forward-thinking, etc. There's something wrong in a country like this where we turn boys and girls out of school because they have locks or because they have natural hair. They wear their hair natural. No school rule says you can't cream your hair, you can't straighten your hair.
True.
You don't have a school that says you can't have your natural twists or your natural cornrows. Something is seriously wrong with that. But I think most of it has changed. I don't know that there are any schools now that would tell you that you can't cornrow your hair. And it's so beautiful to watch little girls with their hair twisted and cornrowed. And you know, the things that we think are important are not really important. When I look at what's happening now with the lockdown, you know, 5-6 years ago, you know, in this style that our like young boy them have now, where the side them crepe off and the top high up and funky top now. A couple years ago, everybody, oh, you can't do it. Nowadays, everybody has it. It's not even an issue anymore. Now that we're in lockdown, I mean, I have a teenage son. I can't even realize he's been to the barber because he hasn't even been out of the house. He's doing classes online. Yeah. You know what I mean? So the things that we thought were important are not really important after all.
True.
Yeah.
Those were politically incorrect, not anymore.
Yeah. What we need to do, those of us who are involved in the arts, rather than preach and lecture, leave black people alone with their hair. That's not the route. I use my writing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So use your writing, use your creativity, use your cultural stuff. It becomes, there was an old movie called Mary Poppins, and there was a song that said, just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine.
Make the medicine go down. Yes, I love it.
That's how I use my writing. So my writing is like a spoonful of sugar, which makes the medicine go down. Because sometimes I'm telling you things about yourself, but I'm doing it in a funny kind of way. You laugh, you think it's funny, and then you stop and think, oh, okay. Yeah. So that's the approach.
Where's Flavius? Is he there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Yeah, man. Oh, could you tell us how you got into this whole Miss Lou stuff?
Well, you know, my mother, God rest her soul, my mother was an unsung, creative human being. She wrote, she told stories, she wrote poems. She made sure that when we were growing up, we went to see the pantomime every single year. She took us to watch plays, you know, and she was always a creative force. So I started writing when I was about, I think my first poem I wrote I was about 9. And the first poem I wrote was a standard English poem about Sir Alexander Bustamante. I remember he died shortly after that. But I remember seeing images of this man, and he was so tall. And so I wrote this big, strong poem about Sir Alexander Bustamante. And then when I got into high school, I had a literature teacher who encouraged writing. So I started writing some pieces, but I tell you where it got really serious for me now. When I left Jamaica, I moved to Holland. Now, All right, you know how it is as Jamaicans.
Mm-hmm.
When you live at Jamaica, you don't need to have flag in your house. You don't need to have no wood carving. You don't need to have no Jamaican this, no Jamaican that, because you're here. You're in Jamaica.
True.
But you know, once you're into America foreign, you have to have flag. You have to have this. You have to have all the trimmings, all the things that remind you of home. You have to have them in your home.
Yeah.
True. Yep.
To Jamaica. It's like us in Jamaica. When last we go beach? We never beach more than some, because guess what? The beach is always there. But when you come home, you run to the beach, right? So when I was overseas, what kept me connected to Jamaica was writing in Jamaican Patois. So I started, I remember being in Holland and being on the train and just writing. Then I moved to Spain and being on the train, being in the train, I just write. It was my way of keeping connected to Jamaica, just writing in Patois. And then when I came home, I did a performance. There was a big performance happening out by Port Royal, and somebody called me and said, "Oh, we hear you're back. Would you like to come and do 2 or 3 poems on the show?" I said, "Sure." Nobody had really heard about me. I used to do festival. I used to get gold medals in festival and that kind of years ago. So I went and did my 2 or 3 poems, and let me tell you something. I stole the show. I absolutely stole the show.
That's
and
right.
so people decided that they had to have another show 1 month later with me as the lead. And so that's what they did. And so then I started writing, and then I decided to publish my books. And no, while I was writing and saying I'm going to publish my books, the whole bumpy head gal thing happened. And so I said, I'm going to delay the book writing for a while. I'm going to produce my first, it was cassette. If you're old enough to remember cassette, it was my first cassette I produced. And it was called That Bumpy Gal. And it went so well that I left my job. I was a news editor, a newscaster at the radio station at the time. I left my job and I went on tour. So I was touring all over the US and UK and Canada, doing a lot of performances among the diasporic communities. And, I did that for a long time. And then I kind of, said, let me settle down a bit. So I wrote the books and things. So I don't perform that heavy anymore, but, the books and the CDs are there. And every now and then I met Miss Lou. My mother tells me that I met Miss Lou when I was about 6 or 7. She said she was in the supermarket and, Miss Lou was there and she pushed me up and Miss Lou said, "What a nice little girl." She said it was the first time. And thereafter I met Miss Lou. I was singing with university singers and she came backstage and, I was supposed to perform and I was very nervous. And she came and she said, "You'll be okay, little child. You'll be okay, little Hutchinson child." And that was her name for me all her life after that. Little Hutchinson child. I mean, I go to Canada performing with university singers. And at the end of the show, Miss Lou comes up backstage and says, "Where the little Hutchinson child?" She always calls me that. I have had the privilege of lying down in Miss Lou bed, crossway her bed, me and loving here. Yeah, and Miss Lou has sing some old-time folk song for me and tell me something that I've had the benefit of. Miss Lou picking up the phone on a Sunday evening and calling me in Jamaica and chatting for a long time.
Beautiful.
Yeah, for me,
wow.
it was a privilege. And, every time if I needed to interpret something in Jamaican culture, I would call her, "Miss Lou, what this mean? And I hope you ever hear this thing." And she always had the time to be able to help me. And so this is why I'm generally very helpful. People call me and say, "Can you help me with so-and-so? Can you?" Because you have to pay it forward. Miss Lou is very good about helping me. And so I'm always very good about helping people as well.
What is the review now on La the Riddim Sweet?
Sorry, what's that?
What is the review now on La the Riddim Sweet?
Well, La the Riddim Sweet was Miss Lou's last recording that she did before she died. I packed up a video crew. I packed up a crew of 7. And we journeyed to Canada to do, it was supposed to be a CD and a documentary. So, the documentary still hasn't been done. We were supposed to record at a studio. Miss Lou's husband, Eric Coverley, fell ill. And Miss Lou said she's not leaving him at the house. She's not leaving him. So we pushed out all the furniture in Miss Lou's living room and converted her living room, dining room into a studio. So we had 40 people, the studio audiences, a group called the Heritage Singers, they were there, and lots of other Jamaican adults and children. We pushed out all the furniture and we created a studio in Miss Lou's living room. And we recorded the Lord the Riddim Sweet.
Wow.
She was singing and she was explaining aspects of the culture, teaching. You see the little young children who born in Canada learning stuff from her. And then we did about 5 or 6 hours of interviews. The only thing that has been done from those video interviews, there's something on. You remember Island Stylie? When Air Jamaica was on, they used to have this thing called Island Stylie.
Yeah.
Right. So there was a little 5-minute thing called Miss Louise Bennett, Miss Louise Gone But Not Forgotten. But the rest of the material is sitting down there, still waiting to be edited.
Oh, I see.
So we're in negotiation with Miss Louise stepson.
Oh, you in what? In negotiation with who?
In negotiation with Fabian Coverley.
Presently now?
Yes. He's in Canada.
Okay. That sound good. Come on, guys. Fling the question if we don't have questions. She soon leave.
Me there.
She soon leave. Come on.
I have a question for you, if I may, John.
Go on through.
I'm as a poet. I was just curious. When did you start writing poetry?
Well, as I said, the first poem I wrote was this poem for Sir Alexander Bustamante when I was 9. You know, 9. Then I started entering festival in my teens, entering the writing competition festival. So I won a couple medals there and things. But as I said, I got really serious about my writing when I was overseas.
She beat you sometimes. Right. What Max wanted, if you were there entering at the time, maybe she beat you and you don't remember.
Could happen.
She said she win enough gold medal. I'm glad me that dance quadrille, so me never had that the category. I was a quadrille dancer, so I was in that category. But go ahead, Max on it.
Yes, John. So let me ask you something. What's going on new in the poetry scene? I have you have your hand in so many different things. So what's new going on in poetry? Have you been touching on it lately?
Well, look, I have a lot of half-finished stuff in my computer, and the new buzzword now with the COVID pandemic and the lockdown and the way it has affected everybody is pivot. How do we pivot? How do we change here? How do we write? So I just put up my first book on Amazon about 3 weeks ago, and this is one of my books. This was my book of Jamaican love poetry, which I wrote a couple of years ago. So what I'm doing now, all the books and CDs that I have now, I'm putting them online. I mean, I don't have
beautiful.
I have a lot of material. In addition to the 7 CDs and the 3 books, I have a lot of half-finished books. The other day, I was looking through a folder and I found some poems, some children's poetry that I wrote for my friend.
Oh, wow.
He's now 26. He's now 26.
Okay.
And I wrote all this stuff when he was a little boy. So I'm looking at publishing all the material that I have sitting on. I just need to publish it. Everybody said, beautiful. YouTube channel. I mean, I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't have a website. Because
why not?
It's a funny thing. Let me tell you what else. In as much as
Joe, we have to link up, Joan, because I do that. I create websites and stuff like that, and you have to have a website. We got a YouTube channel. We got to do this.
We have an in-house publishing team, Joan. An in-house publishing team.
Okay.
So you have Flavius in Jamaica, and you have Max Wanet here.
I have resisted, and this may surprise you. I'm a very private person.
Okay.
I'm a very don't like upfront, don't like limelight. People don't understand it. They think that once you are a performer, you love the upfront, and I don't. When I get on stage, I get on stage and perform. When I finish performing, I get back home. In my backyard, I have lettuce, I have tomato, I have pepper. Yesterday, I spent the whole day down there digging and weeding and chopping up slug and things. I'm a homebody. I really am a homebody. People, so you go out there, you perform. That's one thing. You go there, you perform. When you finish, you retreat. And so my not having a YouTube channel and a website and all those things has been just my way of wanting to hold a little of my privacy and my personal life.
Yeah.
That's the reason I haven't had it yet. But I think I'm ready to do the YouTube channel.
Yeah, by any chance, can I get a poem from you this morning?
Well, I mean, all right, I'm going to do 2. I'm going to give you 2 points. Let me tell you why I'm going to give 2 points.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, for example, that the Jamaican language, right, can only be used for coarse and rough and cruff concepts.
Yeah.
And so when I wrote the book, I wrote a book called In My Heart, right, which is Jamaican love poetry. That's the one that I just put up on Amazon.
Okay.
And, the reason I wrote the book was because I wanted to say to people, look, The Jamaican language can be beautiful. Listen, I saw, I don't know if any of you have seen this. I saw a thing on YouTube the other day. Somebody sent it to me, and I was so angry. I didn't watch the whole thing. It's like a little white boy, and he has like a poster.
Yes.
I was so angry because he would be saying.
I wonder if it was his voice. I was wondering if it was his voice.
It's him. It's his voice. But like he would be saying in English, he'd say, "What is happening?"
Yeah.
And so every time he did the Jamaican language, it was very rough and
exciting.
I resist that completely, right? Because people need to understand that the Jamaican language can be beautiful. It is not always rough and coarse and crude and things. And so I totally resist
right.
it. So when I wrote this book called In My Heart, that's one of the things I wanted to do. Because I know, for example, people don't know very well how to talk about emotions. So when I did the book, I did the book and I put a bookmarker in the book. And I said to people, look here, you see, if you want to say something to somebody and you don't know how to say it to them, you buy the book, you put in the bookmarker at the particular point, and you send it to them at their office. You're not looking at them face. Now, when a lady calls me and she says, Joan, I just want to tell you something. I said, what happened? She said, boy, there's this guy me always like, but he never looked for me yet, and me did kind of afraid to approach him. I bought the book, and there's a poem in it that says, make we give this thing a try. I'm going to put it later, I'm going to send it over you. And I just want, she just called me to let me know, say, right now we did. Right now we did. So I'm going to read a poem from the book.
Okay.
This is called You Know What to David. And I said to people, look, it says, for example, you put on a little wager on your belly and you're insecure, you think that your partner don't think you're attracted to a man, you lose the clear hairline, or you put on a little waist and you think your partner don't find you attractive. Right. But usually we're the ones in the problem, not the partner. So this is called You Know What to David. It says, even if you put on 50 pounds, even if you're sick and mager down, even if you bleach the black to favor brown, and you know what to do. Even if your foot shaped like apple yam, and your hand favor song of the banana man, even if you claim rasta but quietly lift the ham, and you know what to do. So even though you behave like a clown and I feel me them call all over town, I just do not want to be around. I just you know what to do. Right? No, there's nothing aggressive or rude or coarse about that. But people need to understand the Jamaican language can be used for anything. Listen to this now. I don't come off an IT, I don't got my university degree. I don't bossy, I'm not pretentious about life. But what you say is me. Or you see me, I check for you. I can't carry on an expensive spot. I can't stomach fancy food. I can't take your hypocrite kinty friend there. But what I can do is treat you good. And you see me, we will love you right. Unlike me, you have gold spoon in your mouth. You're not sharp or nothing. But from what we see, you look like you could have well undo with a little loving. So Simia, we're ready to kill you with love. This is all written in Jamaican Patois. There's nothing coarse or rough or crude or aggressive about it. So people need to, move on.
Is that book on Amazon now?
Yeah, it's on. You can get it on Amazon. It's called In My Heart.
And wait name again? Wait name?
In My Heart.
In My Heart.
In My Heart. That's the first, right? And the book, the book runs the gamut, right? It runs the gamut from the first poem is like, what you so afraid of? When you fall in love, you know, walk out, baby, you know, go away, if push come to shove. So it starts from, what you're afraid of. Why you gonna try this thing? You really turn me on. Can you please be serious? Da, da, da. And it goes through to in a relationship, we are celebrate 10 years, we are celebrate 25 years too. When the relationship start pop down, it now work. We could go about 2 years. So the whole gamut. So anything you want to say to somebody, and have the words to say it, you can buy the book and just, as I said, just listen to this now. When relationship done. It done. Me not feel the same way about you again. Me no longer having fun. Me not prepared to continue to live like this. Me not know which way to turn. Me obviously know how to please you again. So it done. Bad to bad, me now go disrespect you. Me now go give you bun. So me could just accept what it is now. It done. Right. So rather than chop up the woman when the relationship done, buy the book and send go give her instead.
You're good.
There's a poem in there there are poems about celebrating 25 years together. And, my parents, When my parents passed, they passed just having celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary. So that's what I know. I grew up in love. I a family of love. I mean, I tell people, say, look here, when my mother was in hospital, I have to tell my father, so him is not the patient. Because it's like him have to up there every day. I hold her hand, I look in her eye, and that time he was 80 and she was 79.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's my mother and my father.
Beautiful.
And they, I mean, look, I buried my mother and my father and my younger sister within 10 weeks in 2018. In 10 weeks, I buried mother, father, and sister. You know, father died first, sister died next, like she died suddenly, and then my mother died 3 weeks after that. You know, but alive.
Alive.
That's right.
Can't question that when it come, you know. It's a road we all have to travel. But I love your work. Because I've been going through your the writings about you and things like that, so I'm getting to know about you. So I'm going to buy the book. I'm looking at it as we speak now, you know.
Yeah, and I'm going to try and put up all the other books as well. You know, I mean, some little things that as I say, I document. I use my work to document aspects of Jamaican culture because, you know, in another 10 years from now, people won't know some of the things. So, for example, I have a poem in my book called Make Me Tell You, which was my first book, right? There's a poem named Playground. You went primary school in Jamaica?
Yes, I did.
All right.
St. Annie's Primary.
Get below and suck my big toe. Picky, dry head. Bumpy, greater face. Guana bush, go dead. Chat to me back over, chat to me front. You think you're pretty like me? Don't spot, scappy catcher, move and wet. Don't know bullfoot from B. Me know, so only don't like me and it's just because me bright. Make me get more sticky than the old owner into grudgeful and bad mind. Rotten teeth, ugly girl, you still are wearing your bread at tear up socks. And I carry your lunch in a newspaper here, borrow my lunch box. Hey, when you know, for see with the boy, you know, if family have worm, you know, see how you put in sorry, you should have called him germs. Yes, me face, me have a face, he likes it, so and so do I. You're a brain-affected, duplicated, yellow-bellied, schizophrenic, undernourished, insignificant, anti-parasite, cockroach. Shake off, boy, shake off. When last you hear them something, they talk the truth.
Watch out.
Long time in a year. Long time in a year.
And when she said, you know, we used to things like kiss the cross. All these things are here in this book. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the first book, you know, because, as I said, we just document, because, you know, my son will not know all those phrases because they don't use those things anymore. They don't use them, you know? I mean, there's a poem, for example, called Streetwise. Yeah, me tell you, I have 20 minutes to do that. There. Anyway, enjoy it.
Is that right? Love the beat.
I saw it go when you come on the Real Stuff podcast.
That's right. Keep it real.
Yeah, man, you know, sometimes we think that people mad, right? Just to call them homeless.
Yeah.
This name Streetwise. We pass them out the street every day, dirty and sit down, pan ground and wall and fence. And say, how they tan, we love to think so that them don't have no sense. But if you think so, the people then what we call mad, fool, are gone round any bend. Them just a dance to the beat of them own a drum. They know where them are defend. The other day, me and a friend of mine, I passed one madman, I go up the hill. Naked as the day him born. Him say, Papa, when we come back down, we bring one pants, come give you put on. Here the madman. May we wait right here, so for it. Thank you very much, you're here. But trying to bring no crimpy or cheap jeans because I saw so linen me wear. And put a shirt and a shoes into the flight pack too. And a belt and a bow tie. And dropping one cologne where you don't use yet, but no one will smell too high. And Uno will tell me say mad people mad. Uno will tell me say mad people fool. Sometimes we wonder if we who mad, we who claim we go to good school. Last week we passed one madman downtown a bed. Same day me get me peeled. Me say, sorry, no small change today. And me turn my head the other way. Hearing. May we take any little thing you have, lady, cash or personal effect. And if you're not too liquid this month is all right, my dear, may we take a check. What you say? You check leave, then finish off on your cash, look at your yard. No worry, darling. So me machine here, me take credit card. Me look on him and me shake him. He said, but you know mad, my friend. He said, seeing her mad, it no matter, lady, I just money me and defend. So, I mean, I write about just about everything. I document. And some of these are things that actually happened to me, right?
Right.
What parish you come from?
Me I'm from Kingston, West Kingston. Flavius is St. Mary.
Okay. Now, there's a poem I have called The Hog Named Crowd, right? And this is a poem that talks about obeah. I tell people that the first time I ever saw obeah or any elements of obeah is at a flea market in a place named Hialeah, up on Funo side there. So.
Yeah.
You go and see them have oil of this, oil of that, oil of love me, oil of leave me, oil of make girls stop look for my husband, oil of get me green card overnight. I said, where do they get them things here from? Jamaica. They said, okay. So that's the first time I saw this whole obeah thing. So this piece now in Jamaica, right? You know, so some people have dogs, some have puss, and you have some people who have fowl, pig, goat in their yard. So this piece knows about a woman who, well, her husband was giving her, well, you know, that thing that you get at Easter time with cheese, right? As what?
Think when you get a what?
At Easter time with cheese.
Bun.
Right. So,
Yeah.
Her husband was giving her that thing you get at Easter time with cheese. So she got to one of her friends, but I always tell my friend, you mustn't take advice from single women. As women, don't take advice from women who don't have no man because they tell you all kind of food. Our friend tell her now she must go to this lady, go to this obeah woman, this mother who work with me. So the problem is that she have a hog in her yard named Crowd. Let me tell you the hog name. What the hog name?
Crowd.
Crowd.
Yeah.
Crowd. This is from back of me. What have you used my bodyguard? Every time me turn this hang the pee clock back of me in the yard. Fast go and go chat me business. Tell my friends that they unhappy. So my friend tell me about one little lady I sent her she know can't help me. She said, the lady make her son pass him exam and bring back her husband quick. So me tell my boss me I take the baby because my granny a country sick. Well, I put on one disguise there, you see, and I set out before day to go find this lady in the bush. 10 times me last me way. Me fall down, dog bite me, baka juke me, and one everlasting piece of sun. Me catch me friend, me tie the yard, me draw a chair, and me sit down. Hear her. She said, high cure whooping cough and fever. High cure laziness and turn down. Put this island love me in this true piece for the man and give you bun. Well, me spin round about a dozen times, we tap up it and follow me home. And the Patter's two piece dropped out done cook when Babs Raymond him come. Hear it. Lorena hungry where you have to eat. Hear me. Go in a pat and look. My heart start gallop till me hear him say, hey, stew peas you cook. Me cry that stew peas, they're gonna give you ham. Well, him pan the pot and he step out. And by the time me pin round me this year grunt and the hag that a lick him out. Well, make I tell you, man, the hag catch the stew piece in the ear, even though it did well hot. And if me never run quick, go grab it up, we will and yam all the pot. Well, Raymond him begs the bullfrog, slam the door and say him down a street. And from that day, I don't know where do this hag is like in the pan heat. Every day, him a come from rub against me leg and a long out in tongue. And if me call Raymond darling, me this year grunt and the hag that him run come. One evening, me come in, find the hag, prayed off in a me bed. Well, I pawned the cutlass because I was going to lift off him head. Well, we go back to the lady for little Isla left. Have it in the kitchen in a one cup. Babs Raymond come in and claim so the rice dry, him come in and him pan it up. So see there now, my husband gone left me like Sammy mouth. Come in and pack him bag. And every take me take pee clock and be that and the hag. So you see the obeah backline. And that story was actually told to me by my mother. She said a lady in St. Elizabeth did go, obeah man, to go tie this woman, tie her husband, and she give the man the obeah food and the man give the pig, and the pig fall in love. So when I go so hard not right.
He can't go so.
You know, when I was a kid growing up, I that me hear about the stew peas, you know.
Yes, man.
True.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you eat stew peas from a woman, we just meat.
Exactly. But actually,
It's true. They say that, yeah.
Is it the other day with this whole thing, the dogs going to Canada?
Mm-hmm.
I found a piece which I wrote in 1996. That's 25 years ago.
Yeah.
It named Rover said, "Don't this." This is Rover. Not never vex me so yet. Me this a tremble, me have fever, me mouth dry and me heart a hot me. Me feel the bark, me last bark and just dead. Imagine this little teething, careless girl. We don't have nothing about her. And in them vexation with her, they go call her dog. Me shame till me feel like me want the earth to just open up and swallow me. Wanna say that we dog is our best friend. But when we treat you so, one man kill old lady and little baby, them a dog heart. Man have plenty woman, then doggish. And in time things now go so right, is a dog's life. And what's up on doggy? Me think we don't know it, we don't want apology. Look on all me, faithful, work hard, me no walk street, me no lie, me no thief, and me no mess up the yard. I want to still a rude to me. My boss him do pilot work, and when him come in late hours, he never come in enough time me a wait for him yet. Even when me out a road with my posse, by the time me hear him Kiara come, me jump every fence and in the driveway and jump up and greet him and make him feel like him important. Although most of the time me a jump up to see what him care from foreign, right? Now, a dog gonna feel make right sus hello. Because we see who sneak in and out at night and night with married man and married woman. We see who are let in the yard at daytime and who have to climb through window over fence. And when the people then come, we bark. One night, one judgment, him so frightened, him dropping key and have to walk go home. Anytime he come back the next morning and look fit, we hold and call down, crowd upon him. So he have to go buy 1 dozen party to come keep it quiet. We see every thief anytime them a broke house. And if one of them treat you good, we bark and galang and thing. But if they not treat you good, we just go on quiet. Well, look for me now. Me in a trouble because the other day my boss him bring one woman come at the house. She look like she wear about size 30, one big foot she have. Me don't feel to get up. But when me see the size of her foot, me say, no, Baba. Well, Sasquatch she a go on like she did to hear her. Oh, Roger, I'm afraid. Does he bite? Here he would eat out of herself at some try to impress the girl. Oh, Rover. Rover is of no use to anybody but himself. He just eats and sleeps. Well, I bet still a nearly Kinoba. He just eats and sleeps, no? Me want to know who a guard him house at night time and time him out the street with people, woman. And who want to stop the boy them from tip out the radio out in car last week. Now him a can try this me in front of his size 13 foot woman. But you see, say dog life not easy. 1 week later, me in a punishment, sake of my size 30. She step in, hear her. Oh, look at Rover, asleep as usual. I said to myself, asleep as usual, no? Asleep as usual. And I grab her and give her 1 bitch bite. Well, make I tell you, is the bitterest foot I ever bite. And that save her because I did plan to take the foot down to a size 5. Me want to take a trip go a foreign. Can me here say over foreign? Dog go hairdressing parlor, then get manicure and pedicure, and over there then eat doggy biscuit and get ice cream. So what I'm saying is, this is something that was written from 26 years ago. And look at us in this year. Yeah, Ghana, Canada.
It's happening. It's happening.
For real.
So, as I said,
Somebody in the chat room wants to know about Laugh Jamaica.
Okay, Laugh Jamaica was an amazing production that was done by myself, Tony Hendricks, Bello, and Blacker. It was the first production in Jamaica that was fully owned by the actors, because normally the producers own it, they have a writer, and the producers will pay the actors to do the work. We were the writers, we were the actors, we were the producers, we owned it ourselves. It was also the first production in Jamaica that ran for 7 nights every week, because normally plays don't play on a Monday or a Tuesday, they start on Wednesday. We played every single night, 2 shows on a Saturday, 2 shows on a Sunday. It went really well. And, you know, we toured England, we toured Canada, it really, really went very, very well. And the video of Laugh Jamaica is out there on YouTube. I think Tony had put up the video, so that's out there as well. But people keep asking, when are you going to Laugh Jamaica too? Hey,
yeah.
We know. They don't want to see we on it.
Man.
Tony and Bello and Black and all of that.
All time something come back again. Last night they had the other night they had Earth, Wind and Fire and the Isley Brother, and I think they call Versus. So
Yeah.
Look like that can work. Look like that can work. Yeah. I mean, people doing things virtual right now, but I wouldn't want to see it virtual. I would have liked to see it when everything come back to normal again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because all this shall pass. All this shall pass.
Yeah.
that's right.
You still got to go? You still got to go?
No, man, we have a good time.
All right. Well, no, Flavius is coming back, as I know Flav. There's some people in the chat room, and we have like this young lady named Francine. She said you're one of our motivators. So you have people who, saying good stuff there about you. For me now, I used to come through GBC, and I have a friend who used to work there and things like that. And they used to say, I never used to see no Rasta, but I know Rasta used to work there, right? Are you there, Joan? I seem like we have some misconnection there. So, in the meantime, I want you to check out the book. If you have your Amazon card, what they call it, Prime. That's what it is, right, Max Vanet? The Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime. In My Heart is the name of the book. Yeah.
Yes, it's on the screen there. Run, go get your copy, and let us link up forward.
Jamaican love poetry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yes, beautiful. Listen, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to tell you that today I wanted to say happy Earth Strong to Charlie Black.
Charlie Black.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He's trying. I hear he's working on an Emmy, but today is Earth Strong.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Earth Strong to the Jamaican singer, reggae artist, dancehall.
Okay.
Charlie Black.
I think you're going to say my 20. Are you old back that? Joan forward.
Beautiful.
So, yes.
Mm-hmm.
We were beating your book. We were telling them about your book. I just put up the picture on screen so they could see it. I take a screenshot and post it up fast enough before we come off so they could see it.
Which book is
In my art. So them can run to get it. We have them Prime, then we get it free shipping. If you have Amazon Prime, free shipping. But if you don't have Amazon Prime, then you have to pay $20 plus them going to charge you shipping and handling. So no wrong with that.
It's going to be worth it.
Flavius is back now. Flavius is back. Yes, Flavius, you're back now. I know you're having some problem there in St. Mary this morning. So Joan is still with us.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
I want to invite you back to our Portrait Corner. That's on a Friday.
You can use the word back. You should have said you want you forward to the Portrait
Forward.
Corner.
Yeah. There you go.
When you say back, she scratch her head. She wonder, should I come back? We want you forward for the Portrait Corner.
Portrait Corner.
Yes, it's on a Friday. Yes. We're going to let Courtney book you up for that one. So you can come and spend a good 40 minutes with us. That sounds good. And we hear some of the, because it's really, we really love it. And
it's wonderful.
Want to thank you for your time this morning with us. We know you overstay, you have other stuff to go do, so be safe and stay good.
Yeah, man, everybody stay good and everybody keep yourself away from Corona.
Yeah, that's it. That's the idea.
You too. Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right.
So the people in the chat room, like yard is this yard niceness?
Yes, that's Jamaica Green.
Poetry language. Oh yeah, poetry language of the soul. Francine Mitchell, Courtney Laidley, Mikey Toffis Campbell. Big ups to all of you this morning for taking time out as well, and for spending some time with us. And Joan Andrea Hutchinson. Thank you, Joan.
Yeah, man. All right.
All right. Yeah, walk good to one lover. So, my co-hosts, friends and family.
Yes, I am here.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. That was wonderful.
This is good. Good. Yeah. This morning, Flavius, have some very interesting things that, we should know. And it's about what we call it, foot care, right, Flavius?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about foot care.
Yeah, it's about foot care.
Yeah, everything is about foot care, and one of the things that we have three things we're going to tell you. We're going to drop them, piece by piece, so that you should know about your feet, and these are very, very important things. So. It's called Consider This, and every day we're gonna give you one or two things as we go along, so you can understand and even do it yourself, and and think about it. And the first one we're gonna give you is it named 1 foot and your ankle. So consider this.
Consider this. 1 foot and ankle is made up of 26 bones, 33 joints, and 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments. Consider this. Shoes should fit snugly, not tightly. Consider this. Women experience foot problem 4 times more often than men, largely attributed to shoe choice. High heels, pointy toes, narrow fit.
Yes, so those are some things you must consider, right? And I laugh because the last one, women experience, more foot problem than men.
Than anybody in the world.
Yeah, because the different type of shoes that they have to wear,
I can't do it. Sorry.
So,
it's not worth it.
Well, you never know. And one of the funniest things last year we had a fundraiser in Zoom, right? And one of our Zoom conference fundraiser last year, and it was done by Patrice Dennis Brown, and Dahlia put on a foot care session, and the stuff that we learned are some things that I would have said we never know it. I'm not ashamed to say it. We never know it. Right. But they were interesting stuff, So I want people to check these things out and make sure that, you as Flavius was saying to me earlier this morning, so you're not supposed to buy shoes in the morning. What time you buy shoes, Max, on it? Flavius?
You're not supposed to buy shoes in the morning? Why not? I've never heard that. Because
them time your foot asleep same way, By you walking up and down all day and you go buy a foot shoes, that's the right time because your foot expand. So when you buy the shoes, you might get you get a little bit bigger shoes, and then when your foot go down.
We don't work like that. When we want to buy shoes, we're gone.
But it's true, but it's true. It's facts of life anyway.
No, that's beautiful.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, facts of life. So anyway, I have something before I leave too as well, because as I said, on a daily basis, I'm going to be getting, we're improving the show because we're going into season 2, and season 2 begins officially in May. So each day I want you to, get something out of the program, so that you can like it and share it. We're teaching you as well, and at the same time we have a little fun, and laughter as well. So this one, creating good day today, is a responsibility as the universe perpetuates. Breathe deeply, beloved. I am grateful for sharing thoughts. And that is the thought of the day from our dear friend Ansel Lee. So
I just want to say,
I like that.
Consider me the foot care facts are actually facts, and they are not from me. They are written by a foot care specialist.
And
we're going to get other considered.
And who is the foot care specialist? What's the name of the foot care specialist?
It's Dahlia Brown.
All right, because I was just telling them that last year she put on a presentation in a fundraiser that was held right here on our channel, and it was breathtaking. That people said we should have the foot care and the health care, facial and wellness together, as another fundraiser, and we're working on it. Trust me as we speak. So with that, we're going to get out of here, and I'm going to ask Flavius and Max to give their 2 cents before we get out of here. So Flavius, you go first.
Okay, well, Jamaica, we have completed our second weekend lockdown. We have one to go. I think they say that you won't see the results or hear the results until about 2 weeks, you know. But for what I'm hearing on the news and what I'm seeing is that the place was locked down. People were off the streets. It was very quiet, very, very quiet. And hopefully that will bring our numbers down. That will help us to bring our numbers down. But it's all about discipline. You have to have the discipline. And you have to have the respect for each other, and you have the discipline, and we can beat this thing. You know, we can survive. We can wait it out. And that's what we need to do.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. So well said, well said. Max, one at your time.
Yes, I want to say thanks to everyone that's been listening and tuning in and supporting us. Beautiful, wonderful vibes. Everyone have a beautiful, positive day. We're all in this thing called life together. We have to remember this. So namaste and one love, everyone.
All right, all right. And so, as I said, thanks to those of you who take time out this morning in the chat room, those who didn't participate in the chat room, for being here with us. And we ask that you join us tomorrow when we do it all over again. Live and love every moment of your life. Be grateful for each new day. Cherish your family and friends. Bless others. Keep the faith. Never lose hope. And remember, prayer do changes things. Regardless of what religion you belong to, you must pray. And continue to pray. And in the words of our Father, in the Garifuna language, we ask Queen Lubafu and Tafina, we take with myself to take us out. So we're gonna take what we self this morning.
Lead us soon, Fula. You belong far away away. Ajugwala Lebobu Seru. Leader Mua, leader Sungfula. Leader Mua, leader Sungfula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer sorrow. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I said me if it could flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight. Me I fi take away me say. I fi take away me say.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
Relationship I'm gonna desist, but how can I face